It has always been a mystery as to why the soil surrounding the town of Sarthaal yields such great harvests. Locals of the town claim it's the hard work and skill of their farmers that makes the land give birth to such life, while others claim it to have magical qualities infused within the soil itself. Regardless of the reason, Sarthaal's fields have always held a bountiful harvest. Due to the ground's saturation of nutrients, the farmers of Sarthaal are able to yield a field of every type of crop each year. Tradition has it that every field be a part of the yearly cycling of crops, so as to allow the soil to replenish nutrients for the past year's harvest. A recent trader visited the town and discovered a peculiar purple potato growing in the field near the town's Temple of Os. The farmers of the area claimed it to be a completely normal potato aside from its coloration, and in the coming weeks started noticing more purple potatoes sprouting up along the backside of the temple. Not only was the potato's coloration consistently odd, but the very ground they grew upon was turning purple itself. While no fatal side effects seem to occur from eating one of these peculiar spuds, many have claimed to have severe nausea immediately following ingestion. No other information is known. Hey guys, what's up and welcome to another episode of Brew Build. Today, as you can see, there has been some work done. Not on the town, but over here in the field area. Got all of the wheat planted, got all of the potatoes planted, and got the pumpkin patch in. And we're going to go look at that today. We are also in some shader action because I finally figured out oh good lord. I found out the shader pack that I actually like, and it is Cellar Doors Vibrant Shaders. Makes the sun do all this crazy stuff, and it looks just amazing. I absolutely love this. But as you guys saw in the beginning of this episode, we have some new lore, and so I wanted to go over that. But first, well, actually, we can do it both ways. So yeah, the lore was really, really fun to do. Very simple lore to come up with, but I wanted to come up with some stuff about Sarthaal and the farming portion of the town, because that is the main idea of this town. Why it exists, why people are here is because of how fertile the soil is. And so I wanted to do something with that because I thought it was an important thing to delve into a bit. And it wasn't terribly a lot of lore, but it explains a fair amount. So, in it, there are multiple things talked about, and I want to discuss a few things, but mainly just want to look at this because I am really happy, especially with this middle field, really happy with this middle field. The pumpkin patch is a mixture of different things. I put some green melons in just to act as the green pumpkins that nobody ever likes, or unripe pumpkins. That's what I kind of want them to be, that they are either not ripe or they're the green type of melon or pumpkin that nobody really cares for. I also got a lot of inspiration from Mythical Sausage and his pumpkin patch because he actually made pumpkin patches instead of doing like a whole field of pumpkins. And I thought that was a better way to go about this. And as you can tell, I have added back into our pack the bushy leaves, and I think that is very good. There is no download for this currently because of that right there. If you can't tell what that is birch leaves. I'm working on that. It's like that because we're using Germsy's leaves. I added his bushy leaf add-on to this because it is just easier. It was easier to do, and it matched already our textures. And but I'm changing his leaf texture texture to an idea that I thought would be very cool and very interesting. So it will make trees like that kind of be weird when there's an actual birch tree in another forest, but I think overall it's going to be okay. Hopefully the idea pans out. But let's look at what I've done here. So in the lore, there was mention of in the pumpkin patch, there are crops that are growing that are not actually, that were not like planted there. And that would be like these carrots. And I believe in the lore, I said radishes instead of beetroot. And I said that just because these remind me more of radishes than anything. And I wanted to add these for a couple reasons. One, I think it just makes the area look fuller and nicer, having some different textures happening. And I think it looks very good with all these different things around. Plus, I never use beetroot and I never plant it. And so I wanted to actually use it for something. But the idea is that the soil is so fertile and easy to grow things that really anything that finds its way into the earth will grow. And so that's why this area especially is super lush with crops and is growing more than just pumpkins because these things just found their way over here and they have since been planted and they are growing. I've also added in some soul sand to simulate kind of our mud texture. If you didn't know, this is our soul sand texture, and I personally really, really like it. In a big grouping, it still has that swirly feel, but I think this is a good representation of mud. And coarse dirt and stuff, you know, the typical mix. But I thought the idea of having patches like this instead of a big field was a essential thing to make this feel more immersive. So really love this area. Also really love the potatoes. And a tip that I would give when you're doing potato fields like this and you want it to be more immersive than efficient, skip rows. Do every other row. And the reason being is I planted this entire field as potatoes and it felt weird. You still felt like it was all in rows, but it felt very strange because it was so full. It didn't feel like a potato field. It felt like just, I don't know exactly what. It didn't feel right. And if you look at potato fields in real life, they are planted in rows, very, very distinct rows, in fact. And while they are not this far apart because of Minecraft limitations, we have this as being a like gap in between. And while it is big, I think it is very effective at making this better, honestly. So one like a takeaway I would say, if you want to take something away from this episode or something, I don't know, then I would say less is more sometimes, because this had a lot of potatoes. We have a lot of potatoes because I also broke every single one of these rows with my fortune pick. So we have a lot of potatoes. And this having half as many potatoes looks like 10 times better, 100 times better. I like this way more. So that is a tip of the day is use less sometimes on things like this. And I believe that was all I wanted to cover there. Now we're going to be getting into, well, first let's take a look at the wheat field and what I've done there. So this is Germsy's wheat and really like it. I think it simulates wheat much, not better. Minecraft wheat is very good, but I think this is a little more accurate to the wheat that I wanted. And so I have not done anything in here aside from add a bed, because this is the one I would sleep in. I have also changed this back to our normal door texture. And I will try and get a download next week. I'll try and get it next week so I can figure out the birch leaves. And yeah, I don't remember what I was going to say. I have no idea what I was trying to say, but I went and slept. And now it's beautiful outside. There was a creeper somewhere, but I don't remember where. Anyways, let's look at the wheat field. I don't remember what I just talked about, But on to the wheat field. I think it was something with Germsy's pack and all that. We'll get to this in a second. I know you guys are wanting to see this, but I'm going to be annoying and make it so you can't see it. Wheat field. Nice area. Added this path over to this little storage area because... So this area, this wheat field, felt like it needed something here. And that... Ooh, that's a floating tree. I believe that one's... Nope, that one's not floating. That one's definitely floating. So let's first, that's dangerous to go over there. There we go. So it felt like something needed to be over in this area of the wheat field. And we originally were going to be doing maybe a, a windmill in this area. And I decided mainly, well, not decided, you guys decided that the windmill should go over here on Poppy Hill. And that's what I'm just going to refer to it as, is Poppy Hill from now on. And so I was rooting for Poppy Hill, honestly, because it gives an excuse to extend the houses and stuff a little ways over here. Or make another field, like a small carrot field right here, and then like a beetroot field here. So it just gives an excuse to extend the fields out over here a little bit. So totally glad, actually, that the windmill is over here. And I see you, Clawtos, telling me to freaking design up some windmill here and build up a windmill here. I see you. I don't want to do 2 windmills. I'm not crazy. Anyways, this felt like it should be have something, because it felt like a lot of wheat. And so I made this little outdoor storage area that's covered for rain. It never rains here because it's a savanna, but totally okay. Oh my gosh, I thought I was gonna land and I wasn't landing. But so we have this wheat area here, and then you come over here and you got this storage area, and I really like how this turned out. It's really simple. Just did some cobblestone walls, fences, and a roof, and it's good. Concrete powder makes for a nice area, a nice little area. Added occasional mud, but I like it. I am quite a fan, and so I think it is a good addition. Plus, this guy right here needed a place to store his stuff, and this, I didn't plan this, but this is great being right here, because this is like wheat storage, grain in a barrel. Great, fantastic. Now on to the thing that is going to cause either the most uproar or the most excitement, or yes, either of those, is the cellar of this building. Let's just go in. So the lore ends here. And one, I got to point out, these cellar doors took me a while to figure out how I wanted to do them. And I had to give up a little bit and do a slab here just so I could get down without bumping my head when the doors are open. But I am very happy with how this has turned out. I am very happy with it. I think it turned out great. So you come down here and you're met with this. This is a nice, cozy little cellar. 2 high ceilings, so Enderman can't get in. Thought it was just a very nice, and I personally, this is where I've been sleeping. I just close those, feel very safe. There's no way for any sort of mob to get in here. Actually, there is, because I believe. Oh, no, maybe not. Huh. Okay, maybe not. Oh, there we are. That's why. Forgot about that guy. But yeah, it's a nice little cellar area. And I do have Germsy's paintings in. I forgot that I put them in. But one of the paintings is this. I thought this was nice. I like it. It's a nice little addition. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. I really thought this was a nice little area. And then there's this. Oh, I saw the shadows and I got scared. So this is where the uproar might happen. Firstly, okay, I want to go into a creative mode we'll talk about it, then we'll go into creative mode to check it out. So, first, we've got the purple potato, which is actually just a poisonous potato. And this is the purple potato from the lore. This is the purple potato growing. And I wanted it to feel very alien-esque. And the idea is, so when I released the first portion of lore for Sarthaal, I called it the Town of the Tainted. And this right here is the taint. As you can tell from the particles, it's mycelium. I have changed it to this dark purpley texture. And I personally am pretty happy with how it turned out. This is all based off of, the texture is based off of the texture from, if you've ever played any of the Feed the Beast series, like Feed the Beast Unleashed, which is the best one in my opinion, or Feed the Beast Beyond, in Thaumcraft, they have, Thaumcraft is a mod if you don't know, they have taint. And taint is something that really ravages the land. It takes over, and if you don't keep it in check, it will take over everything. And so I thought, you know what, let's do that, because we're talking about changing our world and changing how the land is affected by things. How can we change even more, and change a block that isn't, no one's going to really care about changing it this drastically. And I thought, you know, mycelium, nobody likes mycelium, or at least nobody I know likes mycelium. And I thought this was a nice addition to our area. Now this is, oh, and I'll show you the variations. There's 4 variations of this taint. They're all very, very similar, but this is the plain version. Now this is where this plant is going to cause some uproar potentially. This plant is actually, okay, I have to make sure. Okay, this is Silk Touch. This is the Dead Brain Coral. So you can place it anywhere that you want. Now I think I might change it to the dead brain, dead whatever coral fan, because then you can place it on walls and stuff like that. And so the reason for this, okay, we still got time. The reason I have done this is because I'm never really going to build with these very much. And I got the idea from Germsy. Germsy had this idea to change them to something that more useful and something that isn't in the game that can really help out either decorating or, in this case, our lore. And I don't think that this is too big of a deal, because you won't find these naturally spawning unless it, like, for some reason spawns above water level. And so it's not really something that is like you're gonna see. You're not gonna see this in the world. And so I thought this was a nice little change that we could have, because I did it mainly because you can't put anything but mushrooms on mycelium. And I didn't want to change mushrooms to like a purple, because I thought that would be weird, because those actually appear in the world. So I didn't want to really do that, but you know, we could do that as well. But I do like this idea. And this is this is practically the exact taint. I think they're called taint spores or something like that in Thaumcraft. And this is like the taint plant. These little green ball sections are actually pink, I believe, in Thaumcraft. And I changed them to green because we're dealing with Enderman and the Void and End and stuff. And so purple and green are kind of that. Sort of the color of all that and stuff. So, yes. And this here, this is our farmer's journal. And I'm going to read it to you. Moving to this area was a brilliant decision. The soil of Sarthaal is truly as fertile as they say, and this year is shaping to be a bountiful harvest. The wheat is growing up taller and fuller than the average crop, and the potato field is practically bursting with spuds. I checked on the pumpkin patch, and it seems the earth has held onto the previous year's seed, as there's even some carrots and radishes popping up. Truly, this year's harvest is going to be the best yet. There's talk amongst the townfolk of voices coming from beneath the Temple of Os. Only a few seem to hear them, and nobody can make out what's being said. All I know is when someone starts hearing voices that aren't there, they've had their head out in the sun for too long. I'm stocking up on some extra spuds just in case things start to go sideways on us, but thankfully we live on the outskirts of town, so we should be able to avoid any trouble that may arise. A man was killed today by someone driven mad by the voices beneath the temple. King Rayan has barred off all access to the temple and is leading an excavation of the catacombs in search of these voices. He seems a touch off from his usual self whenever he leaves the temple. He's usually quite talkative to us around town, but as of late, he's hardly spoken a word to us. Not only that, but his eyes are so restless in his skull, never settling on anything lest it be the temple. I don't know what happened underneath the temple, but a horde of freakishly tall creatures came bursting out of the catacombs. They move wickedly fast, and as if they're almost teleporting around. They seem to only attack those that have turned away from Os to worship them. But I don't know what in the world they are. Silda was attacked by one simply for looking at it in its face. Thank Os I stockpiled those spuds. I'm staying in my cellar until morning, and then I'm hightailing it out of here to Hasara. It's a shame, really. The crops were looking so good this year, and I hate to leave without harvesting them. And that is our farmer's journal. Exactly how he's written it. It is actually all written in here. I know I did that as a scrolling screen thingy, or at least that was the idea I was going to have. It is all written out in Minecraft journal form, and we are going to be doing this, I think, as some additional lore to find. So we're just going to have little journals and stuff spread around the world that just have some backstory of things. So this is just a farmer that is living out the events of Sarthaal, and we're gonna do some more. I have some ideas for some other areas that will have cellars. Maybe that big house has a cellar that has a journal and a kind of research area on these plants, these purple potatoes. And so I thought it would be cool to have journal notes and stuff on these plants and this plant, the purple potato. Thought it would be a fun thing to have notes and stuff on it and have journals just spread all throughout our world. And it could be a fun way to also go back and write some lore for the town of Moor and the gypsy camp. So this is an idea. So let me know what you thought about this. This was something else I was working on to just get out to you guys in a little bit simpler form. But it was an idea I wanted to run by you. And so I thought might as well run it by you in a normal way. But enough about this. Let me know what you think of this. And let me know if you like this, if you're okay with this in our texture pack. I can always make this an add-on, so you guys don't have to have this in your pack. So let me know. I think it's cool. I think it's a neat idea. But let me go gather materials and we'll get moving with today's episode. All right, so for the rest of today's episode, we are going to be building up the rest, or as many as we can, I guess, the rest of these buildings. We've got 1, 2, 5, I think, maybe 3, 4, 5. 5 more buildings, and then the town, or at least most of the town is complete in terms of being structurally complete, but it's all based on how much andesite we have left to use. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then yoink. Yes. Okay. And so yeah, I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit. Ooh. So I just wanted to talk to you guys just a bit more about this whole idea of taint, and why I thought it would be good to change the texture, and where we're taking the texture pack as well, because we have made some changes that are not drastic, but I mean, are not straight up vanilla changes. And I wanted to address those because I thought it was important. So, firstly, the texture pack I am changing to better fit our lore. And since this is this is a world that only I have to deal with, I want it to better fit exactly what it. I want it to fit everything that we're building. Nope. Oop, wrong one. I want it to fit everything we're building. And so to best fit the taint idea, we have the glass idea of making little void things. And I thought, that's a great idea, and we're going to definitely do that. But what if we also have it affecting more than just like causing the ground to go transparent? What if it can affect and like grow in this world as well? What if it like affects the soil and affects the growth of things? That'd be a huge thing in this town. And so I wanted to experiment with that. And right at the end of the episode, we're going to take a look at a mushroom island, so you can check out everything that is the taint texture. Actually, I'm a dingus. Utter dingus, because okay, maybe I'm not a dingus. Maybe I'm a dingus now. I'm pretty sure there's a bed in all of these houses except for one, and that was the one. So, yes, I think let's build up the walls first, because they're easier, and that's not actually going to be there. And yes, we'll do it like that. So this goes there, this there. Okay, so I didn't get near as far as I thought I would. We only got 1, 2, 3, 4 houses done. And then I realized, we still have this little house. We got that house, this house, and, well, we probably have enough andesite to do it. But I do need to go on a mining thingy, what's it called, trip, for some andesite for the cobblestone wall. Need to get that worked out. And need some andesite for this and all that jazz. And so, this episode's starting to get a little lengthy, and so I want to just jump right into a mushroom island to show you guys. So, I believe this one is where I was messing around. Yeah, so I was messing around just planting a lot of these thingies. Yeah, this is what taint looks like. And so I was messing around. I was looking around, messing with like the mushrooms, how we can make mushroom islands work, but I don't think that's going to work. So yeah, this is taint. This is what I have created for taint. I really, really think that it is an all right texture. I don't really think it's that bad. It kind of just looks like purple dirt. This is actually really close to what taint actually looked like. I did some editing to make it a little more textured, but overall, I think this is pretty good. So the idea is we will have some overlays as well of the taint onto like grass and dirt and stuff. All the different blocks will just have overlays, and I think it's going to be a cool block to have. So let me know what you think about the texture, what you think about this guy right here, and there I will make variations of this so it's not all repeated, but yeah, let me know what your thoughts are, because I am very interested in this, and I will be improving the textures. This is not a final texture or anything like that, but this is pretty close, I think. It's pretty close to the idea I had in mind. So any ideas are welcome, but I will let you guys go for now. So I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Hope you enjoyed the lore. Hope you enjoy this idea. And if you have any new ones, please let me know. I would love to hear them. Not sure what we're going to do next episode, but there'll be more lore. I'm going to try and do lore, like weekly lore. So I think it's going to be really fun. So yeah, I think that's going to do it for this episode. If you like the video, feel free to leave a like on the video in real life. And if you like the changes and like the textures and like the lore and everything, then leave a nice subscribe. I think you do that. Subscribe to the channel. How about that? Subscribe to the channel and be updated as to when we actually release videos. Yeah, join the little family we've got going here. So that's going to do it. I will see you guys in the next episode.